What up? It's your boy Wall Street, and I'm back, and I have a trade to announce that involves the Miami Heat, the Los Angeles Clippers, and the Utah Jazz. So let me dive into it for you, in case you have not heard the news yet. But the Los Angeles Clippers will be receiving John Collins from the Utah Jazz. The Miami Heat will be receiving Norman Powell from the Los Angeles Clippers. And the Utah Jazz will be receiving Kyle Anderson, Kevin Love, and a 2027 second-round pick from the Clippers. Kyle Anderson and Kevin Love obviously coming over from the Miami Heat. So there's a lot to unpack here. But I think this move, it's a little strange to me, but I think it makes sense for the most part. The Miami Heat getting Norman Powell makes a lot of sense. They really didn't have to give up too much to get him either in this trade. I mean, Kevin Love, I love Kevin Love. I think he's been one of the greatest players I've seen during my, growing up with the NBA. But he's not that guy anymore. I think he's like 36 or 37 years old. He's going on, I think, year 17 in the league. He was drafted in 2008. So there's not much time left in Kevin Love's career for the most part, right? He did not have the best season this past season with the Heat. And it is what it is. I think the Heat just cut ties. Kyle Anderson is a unique role player, but, I don't think he was really going to help the Heat all that much. So by getting Norman Powell, who just had a career year for the Los Angeles Clippers, that's quite the haul, right? And you have Kasparas Yakuchonis coming in as well, who was supposed to be a top 10 pick. He fell all the way to 20 so that the Miami Heat could pick him up. I feel like this happens to the Heat every year where they get some prospect that slips out of the lottery in the first round. I don't understand how they continue to do it, but shout out Pat Riley. He's running the show. He's doing what he has to do. I like this move a lot for the Clippers, acquiring John Collins. I think that's a great move. I mean, he's an extremely versatile big man. He has just really, I think he's kind of just like fallen out of people's minds while being in Utah. He did not play that many games this past season, only played 40 games, started 31 of them, played 68 games the year prior in Utah. Obviously, before that, he was with Atlanta. But he's a very, very solid player. He has career averages of basically, sorry, I was looking at his per 36. His per 36 is about 20 points per game. His career averages of 16 points per game, 8.1 rebounds, 1 block, 1.5 turnovers. Doesn't really turn the ball over all that much. So in this past year, averaged 19 points per game. That's his third best points per game season he's had since entering the league in 2017. And I think this adds versatility to the Clippers. He's able to kind of pick and pop a little bit more. I felt like they didn't have as much of that with just Ivica Zubac. They didn't have the combination of size and skill. Obviously, they also brought in Brook Lopez. So I think this is just another addition to that theme that they kind of want to play on of having versatile big dudes that can, play the pick and pop with James Harden as opposed to just rolling to the basket, because that does become predictable after some time. So my boy JC heading over to LA. And I think, this move by the Jazz is just, I think Danny and Austin Ainge kind of were like, we're kind of losing value from our guys. We saw him trade Colin Sexton for Yusuf Nurkic. That was an interesting move. Obviously, I think Sexton is a better player than Nurkic at this point in time. I think Nurkic is still a very solid player. He's just had a couple of rough patches these past couple of seasons. But I think this is a signal from the Jazz that they are getting ready to really let their young guys really run away with the minutes here, right? Like, they just drafted Ace Bailey. They got Walter Clayton Jr. They have Taylor Hendricks, who was a top 10 pick a few years back. He was injured last season. He's going to be coming back, so they want to get him some playing time as well. I think it's a move for the future for them, and I think it's similar to what the Washington Wizards are doing. Like, they're acquiring vets that can teach their young guys. I think Kevin Love is an amazing vet to have on your team. I think Kyle Anderson's also a very good vet to have on your team, and they get a second-round pick out of it. So it's not a horrible haul for the Jazz, but it's definitely not something that's moving the needle. They're not contending for a championship, obviously, and we'll see what they can do from here. But obviously for the Heat and the Clippers, this was a come-up move for both of them. I think the Clippers really they're the only ones where it's like, that's really a true trade-off, because you're losing Norman Powell, who stepped up immensely after Paul George departed from the team. Had like the best season of his career. Should have been an all-star, in my opinion. Was not given that honor, unfortunately. But I think he's going to do very good in Miami. And with the East being as wide open as it's going to be next year, with Halliburton out, Tatum out, Damian Lillard, who knows what's going to happen with him, but he's definitely not playing next season due to his Achilles injury as well. You know, the Heat have a chance to sneak into the playoffs. I don't know if they're really going to be able to make a lot of noise, but, you know, I can never count the Heat out. You know, Heat culture is way different than every other team, and they typically put their best foot forward with any roster they have. Doesn't matter who is playing on that team, they always figure out a way to make an impact and seemingly make it into the playoffs, right? So they did that this past season after they traded away Jimmy Butler. They got crushed by the Cavaliers, but, you know, they still showed up to the playoffs, and, you know, they got 4 games out of it, but not much more than that. So it is what it is. But 3-team trade, a lot of guys moving around. Norman Powell goes to Miami. John Collins goes to Los Angeles with the Clippers. And the Utah Jazz get Kyle Anderson, Kevin Love, and a 2027 second-round pick from the LA Clippers. So let me know what you guys think about this trade in the comments down below. Would love to know your thoughts so we can talk, we can chop it up. You know what it is. But I'm going to catch you guys later, man. Stay up, stay blessed, stay safe, stay humble, handle business, stand on business. Peace out.